Speedrunners. In Metal Gear Solid, we have many grand aspects how to be fast, and as a speedrunner of Metal Gear Solid 2, we can also save a lot of time by being smart about our menus. In this compilation video, I'm gonna explain a few tricks how you can save time if you want to menu better, having stuff on your previous and also menuing less. This is specifically made for VE in mind, but many things also work on higher difficulties. So let's get started and let's see how we can save some time. Alright, here is a little menu trick you can do going from tanker to plant. Once you've taken all 4 pictures that you want to take, switch to your SOCOM, for example. Just make sure that the M9 is on the previous slot. Depending on what kind of ladder glitch you did, you maybe have the magazine. Ending with the M9 on your previous makes it so when you go into the plant chapter, you can just quick equip the M9 again when yours is ready. Because the status of previous gets saved across the 2 chapters. After you touch the terminal and you were waiting for the elevator, even then you can just go down here. Grab the M9 from this spot in very easy. And you can just re-equip it. Previous one. Just tapping R2. No menus at all needed. Just move on. Here's another menu trick that you can do before you go to Snake. As we go from Strut AB connection bridge to Strut B, we want to make sure that we have the M9 once again on previous. So you can go over this bridge as such, unequip it so it's on previous, go into the room, and then once we meet Snake, this will happen. The M9 will be both in our previous and in our active window. While we do get the SOCOM from Snake in the cutscene, the game will have the M9 in our hand here. Do not touch the menu at all. Just don't touch it. Because this is a setup that we actually will benefit from right after Stillman. After all the cutscenes, the M9 will still be on your previous. You will start with nothing in your menus. And now you're ready to go. Just quick tap R2 again. There's the M9. And now if you are going clockwise, or if you do counterclockwise conveyor, it doesn't matter. You can just do, in the next segment, a cartwheel, hold R2, quickly go to the coolant, and there you go. Unequip it again, and that's how you save the menu. If you would start from nothing, you would go down one menu, a second one, and then re-equip. But with this little trick, you can already just have the M9 equipped without any menus, and then go to your coolant. Before you go to the fortune find, you actually had to defuse the bomb. So usually we start the fortune fight with the coolant on our previous, and having the SOCOM equipped. Now that the fight is over, you can see I still have the coolant in my previous. So going up here, my weapon will be unequipped, and the coolant stays in my previous, which is quite useful for us. With the same way how we end the fight, we can also have the SOCOM or the M9 already in your previous. What most speedrunners will do is that they're just gonna go and leave the menu as is. Especially on very easy. We can just go through all these rooms without any issues, just walking. The reason why we don't have the coolant spray and something else active at the same time is that it's actually useful for us. If we have turbo on and we just hold the square button, we might have a chance to do a little stair glide. Once we're up here on the roof, we can initiate the Fatman fight as usual. And then still keep the coolant on previous. During the cutscene, we automatically equip the SOCOM and we're ready to fight. No menus needed at all. And that's the adult menu at all between Fortune and Fatman. Here's already the next trick. Since we need to defuse the bomb anyway, what we want to do is have coolant and nothing on us, so we can move Fatman, and then end on nothing for this cutscene. Gonna move down here, and we still have the coolant on previous, which is basically the natural things how we just play through. So since we have the coolant on previous, we can just quick equip the coolant during a cartwheel, and from here out, go down 1 for the claymore, and move on. If we pick up the claymore but actually want to use the stun, it's down, down, 1 to the right, or 1 to the left, doesn't matter. If you never picked up the chaff at Strut A roof, it's literally just down 2, because stun will be the only grenade in the spot. It's all depending on what you will do. It is actually recommended going from E to F to grab the claymore, because that's just faster to just roll into it and then coolant rise to equip it and grab the claymore that way. So down 2 usually is what people do. If they only have the chaff, then they're still prepared. If they have the stun, it's fine, whatever. The important fact is that you are not going menu and then up, up. But you can always have it in the same way, no matter what you have previous. Just go coolant, down 1 to have the claymore. Makes it very fast, just with the re-equip. Or you go coolant down 2 to go directly to the stun, if you didn't pick up the chaff. If you picked up the claymore, chaff, and stun, it's down, down, and then 1 to the side. Once we get to the shell wall and core, we can go here. Go over there. And go from the stun, literally down to the AK. If you've been on the claymore and you have picked up the chaff or stun, you gotta go down twice, of course. So down twice, and you're on the AK. If you fail to grab the chaff and wanna grab the chaff, in the top left corner of that little armory, I guess, that's where you can grab also another chaff for just 2 seconds time loss at most. Go down here. Throw the stun into the elevator and you're good to go. Yeah, we're gonna just distract the guards here. Get another alert. So the backup is actually coming down. I'm gonna throw the stun right as we turn the corner. Come back on the AK. There we go. Now they're all down here. The elevator door is open and we can go right through. Go up B1 and then hold R1, square next. That way the game will think, oh, you want to shoot that guy? But he's important. So you can just move on. Turn around, as usual. And that's it. Once you reach the bridge to shoot out the sensors, you can just go from the AK that's now on your previous, equip it with quick equip, and then just menu once to the left. And you got the PSG-1 right there, ready to go. Once you're done shooting all the sensors, depending on what you want to do next, if you want to do chaffless, chaff round, or whatever, you can do a cartwheel forward, quick equip the PSG-1, and then just menu up once to the chaff. If you're doing chaffless with the M9, you don't need to equip the PSG-1, you can just go 1 up with the M9. So I want to cartwheel forward with the PSG-1, doing the cartwheel, get the chaff, and then walk forward into the cutscene. Why is the chaff important? Well, when you skip this cutscene, walk forward, you just equip the chaff from previous, and now you just need to go up 1 to the stinger. So you enter with the PSG-1, then you go to the chaff to go into the cutscene trigger and everything. You start the fight, you re-equip the chaff with quick equip, and then just menu up 1 to the stinger. Now, what's really good for you is if you end the fight now on Stinger instead of in Chaff. Because if you end on Stinger, the Chaff is in your previous, and you can just very easily bring this one back. I took too long to explain this, so I'll go into the next phase where 100% will actually end on the Stinger. So I'm just going to stay here. And that's that. I stayed in the Stinger, had Chaff from previous, and now I get out. Once again, if you do Chaffless, it actually does not matter. As long as you have nothing equipped. And I did not want to have the save bus. So now that you have your Chaff active and nothing on, you can also do other things. Like doing the pipe with just the menu. You have to mash square. It's not much, but you have to mash it to not fall down. And then you're good to go. Okay, equip the Chaff here. And then you're ready for the next part when you bypass the guard. There's two ways that you can do this. If you did this with Chaff, just throw it right as you go over here. No problem, just go over. Hold D-pad top left to lean against the wall and just hold it up to go. And you only need to swap here. Every time when you take a stride forward, swap, so you get the full momentum. When he pulls his leg forward, it doesn't work the same anymore. This is how you can do the Chaff version. Now, if you don't want to do the Chaff version because you didn't pick it up, you can do the version with the M9. Ideally, you have M9 already in previous beforehand, but I'm going to do this quickly manually at first frame. It's not the M9. I'll put it over here. And there you go. You just look up into the window. And then you can just shoot him, ideally with first person, because then the auto aim locks on a little bit faster. It's important that you're not switching, for example, with the Stinger. That would be on your previous, you want to have something else on your previous. And yeah, mash start here to skip the cutscene as fast as possible. Normally, if you were doing the Chaff version, you would just throw it now after like 2 cartwheels, throw it before you go up the stairs. But we did do the M9 version, so we're just here. Do not worry, yes, you will get shot from the turrets just as you enter the door, but this will delay you by like 1.5 seconds. Now in this cutscene, just hold left and X. And now there's already the next menu in preparation. Because now we have the D mic on our previous, and we are going to grab the Nikita. The Nikita and the Stinger is the next thing that we need to menu into. So let's just quickly grab the Nikita and start working with that. Oh, we just grabbed the Nikita. What we want to do now is do a cartwheel to the left, tap R2 quickly to go with the D mic, then just menu down 1 because then there's already the launchers. So we got the Nikita first, go right one more time for the Stinger, and then just quick re-equip the Nikita. That way you have the Nikita on active and the Stinger on your previous. So remember, just re-equip the D mic, menu down 1, menu down to the side, and then bring back the Nikita with a tap of R2. Now you got your Stinger already set up. With one swift menu, you can go through all the entire thing here with the President. And after that, the Nikita will be replaced with the SOCOM. But you still have the Stinger on your previous. And then after the President, we're getting ready to see Vamp. For Vamp, you're going to use the lethal Stinger version, where we don't need to worry at all about him. And because we already have set the Stinger here before we even go to the President, the Stinger can be just equipped from the SOCOM with a quick tap of R2. As we can see, we just got off the President. We have the SOCOM now on the hand, and the Stinger stayed on our previous. Like we quickly check, just deal with a cartwheel. Stingers on previous. So there's actually no menu needed at all to go to Vamp and then fight him with the Stinger. Alright, we start the Vamp fight. Just tap once, and we got the Stinger on. Just shoot at his feet with turbo and you're good to go. No menu needed at all. Just straight from SOCOM to Stinger with the tap of R2. After the Vamp 2 fight, you'll always have the PSG-1 as your previous weapon. What we need to go fast through the fields of all the ciphers is we're just going to quickly cartwheel here, put the PSG-1, and then go left 1 for the AKS. If you never picked up the PSG-1T, you can actually just go left or right, doesn't matter too much, because you only have the PSG-1 and the AKS. But yeah, if you have the PSG-1, you want to go left to the AK. And that way you save one menu click, which is still a little bit of time save. Go for here, ignore the second cipher VE. And don't forget to turn on your turbo. Once you go to the Tengu fight, you actually just want to hold forward the entire time. No matter if you end on the AK or the SOCOM. When you go to Tengu 2, you want to make sure that you have the Stinger on your previous before you start the Tengu 2 fight. So go up here, cartwheel, have Stinger on your previous, and then start the fight. You always go back to the Stinger. And then when you set up, just hold down here. How I started the fight was very important as well. I was starting with the SOCOM on auto fire to shoot the right guard first, then the left guard, so I turn to the left. Why, he will also block my bullets with the sword. Once we are in position and turn to the left, we can just use the Stinger with quick re-equip and then hold square forward the entire time, and instead shoot that left guard that way. It's important that you don't need to turn around manually. The auto aim will do that for you. Once you've done that, took care of the right and the left guard, just go up and aim at the spot. After 48 Tengu 2s have been killed, you can move on.
It came as a complete surprise.
With that setup in mind, when you go to the race, you'll also have the Sting on previous, so you don't need to do anything. You can wait here, you can do whatever you want. And as I said, once we start the raid fight, we can just go into the Stinger with the re-equip and immediately start shooting into the two mouths of the center and the left ray. There you go. Just walk back so the first one doesn't kick you, and then shoot that one in the mouth. That's all the menus you need to do in order to save time as a speedrunner.
Are you awake yet?
Working with previews and keeping that previous state active is the key to save a lot of time. Have fun, and of course, check out always speedrunners.com, the wiki and the Discord to learn even more about these games and how to speedrun them. My name is Nastest, and I'll see you soon.